dun. Get the link. Dun, dun. Let's see. And grab some music. Let's play through this. Alright. Who is texting me all of a sudden? Can't take it. Alright, hang on. I have to go help someone. This is awkward. Hold on. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. Was helping somebody with something. Alright. And let's get... Alright. Hope everyone's doing alright. Mostly just having a chill stream. Actually, get a more surprise look. Would be useful if I'm using a bigger eraser. There we go. And let's just do this. She's more surprised. Might as well just post this. Not redrawing her, but definitely drawing her in a humorous situation. Because why not? And one more place. So I'll do it on Blue Sky as well. You can always delete it later. Alright. I just realized I haven't uploaded her, have I? There's like a handful of characters that I've drawn that I just haven't uploaded. I think I'm waiting until the current characters I've uploaded have bios, and then I'll start posting more characters. But that's basically the plan. This is what she gets for snacking. I mean, she's always snacking. But I hope everyone's doing alright. I know these streams are rather late night, or at least for my time zone they are. Yeah, because I want to put her in a particular outfit, so... wanted to just be like roaming around, stuffing her face, and then all of a sudden she's having a wardrobe malfunction. Might have to look up a reference of how she looks when she's naked, just so I can get certain details right. And if I get done with this early enough, maybe I'll work on a page for the Webtoons thing. Kind of taking my time on that because I'm in a mood where I was like, look, am I just wasting my time if I don't even know if I'm moving on to the next round? So I'm kind of just like, I mostly just want to get like one episode down and then I'll debate on working on the last one. Okay, she's not super busty, but at least enough in this scenario. Especially if I'm trying to put her in a certain scenario. I can always move up her chest if I need to. Thank you. I do need to make more speed paints, so I want to try to make another one of those soon. My time's been kind of all over the place at the moment, mostly due to the Webtoons contest thing. Well, like, I didn't really like the idea of pouring all my time into the Webtoons thing in the first place if it wasn't gonna like amount to anything. But obviously, I'd feel better to try than to not try. Like, I would rather because this is obviously this is a contest, so obviously I'd want to try and not go anywhere than to sit there and keep wondering what if over and over and over. So better for me to try than to not. And if it doesn't go anywhere, like if I don't go on to round 2, then fine. That's fine. I can work on the stuff I was already working on. like nothing really changes. And if I do somehow get picked up, then that's a whole other conversation. Let's just say she's been snacking a bit already. So I'm kind of just roughing her out right now until I get what I'm looking for, and then we can flesh it out. Because I want her in like a jacket top or like some kind of tight outfit that unfortunately cannot handle her snacking. This boob will be out more. No, not redrawing her, just putting her in a humorous scenario. And then just realized I keep sitting on a bunch of characters that I've drawn their artwork for already, but then I remember it's like, oh yeah, it's because I want to make all the bios for the current characters that I've posted. At least the most recent characters, like a lot of the old ones that I have posted, am debating on if I want to redo their artwork first before I make their bios. And then some characters don't really have like complicated bios, they're just like monsters or whatever. So just a matter of what I want to do first. But figured we'd have some fun with Nadine. Because you know her, she ain't gonna think about her clothing when there's something to eat. Oh yeah, I'm not I'm not gonna do what happened to Palmas. I'm not gonna switch her up. Like, I started thinking more what to do on Palmas by her having her doll body, and it could be a thing where she can just jump between the two. So she has the tall version and the short version, but the short one is supposed to be like the real her. But she can just jump between them. But I wanted it to be obvious that the tall one is like a fake, so that's why I altered her colors a bit and made her look more like a corpse. Because technically Eden and Fig are supposed to be the puppet masters. So wanted to switch things up a bit. The unsung BBW, I know, right? Don't worry, show. Once the contest is out of my mind, once I find out if I move on to round 2 or not, once that is out of my mind, I can focus on more fun stuff, and then we won't be in such a drought that we've been in for a good chunk of time. Because there's been a lot of things I've been wanting to do, but I've been kind of putting it on the side just because I don't know what I'm doing between now and next month, or the 23rd of next month. But once I find out, then it's like, okay, I'll be doing blank, and then once that's over with, then we can move on to other stuff. Actually, I don't think her arm would be that high up. About here, I think. A little bit thicker wrist. But yeah, like once I know 100% for sure whether or not I'm moving on Webtoons, then that will clear up a lot of my plate. I'll be like, alright, I'm not doing, or I'm not moving on with Webtoons, cool. I'll save whatever it was I was gonna do for later, and we can focus on like I Had Secrets and Volume 2 and Black Circus and whatever else that I have planned. Because I'm thinking of removing Buckle from Webtoons, so that way I can just reboot it. And then if I feel like putting it on Webtoons, I will, but I think my main focus will just be the main sites that I post on. Because let's be honest, if I wanted to go crazy hardcore with Buckle, it ain't happening on Webtoons. Yeah, for Palmas, definitely having a taxidermy body would make sense. Alright, let's put her hair. And like realistically, she would use the tall body, to look all like intimidating, because it'd just be like ridiculously tall and looming over. And the thought process I was thinking of was having her interact with Jam at first, like for whatever the storyline would be. Like, you see this tall, looming rat person in a taxidermy shop or whatever, and like I could have like the other siblings going like, oh geez, because she looks all like creepy and stuff, and maybe she's holding an axe, I don't know, whatever I'm trying to do with her. And then Jam is just like, Palmas, stop playing with your toys and come out here. And then that's when Palmas shows up and you find out that she's small. So Jam is like completely unaffected by the doll's appearance or intimidation of it. She's just like, uh-huh. It's like you literally cannot pull a fast one on Jam like that because she knows better. Nadine's more of a junk food person. So I would say I would say like hot dogs and chips. I mean, obviously she likes meat, but like her go-tos would probably be like hot dogs and burgers too. Because, you know, Marcy can always have her iconic pizza. I've realized how often I've used pizza. Because it's just such an easy food to go to. Oh, this song is so awesome. It's like there's not much thought to drawing pizza. It's really easy. Hello. They really don't make music like this for games that often anymore. Or if they do, it's like for very specific characters nowadays. Like, you might get this type of music out of Kirby, because Kirby has music similar to this. But that's kind of it. Maybe Mega Man. But it's been ages since we've seen Mega Man get to do anything. Or at least, you know, since Mega Man 11. I had to think about that for a moment. I was like, where were we on that? And I was like, oh yeah, we're on 11. That means 12 would be awesome if they knew what the hell they were doing. Or even Battle Network would be the shit. Have I ever tried to draw a Scorpion girl? I'm going to say no, just because I can't think of one right off the bat, but I have drawn a Lobster Girl, and that's kind of close. So if we count her, then yes. Oh yeah, huh, Eden Fig would be close to that. Yeah, Eden Fig would be close to the Scorpion motif, because she is an insect. And she has the whole multi-bug, centipede, spider tail thing. Yeah, Eden Fig is the closest. And then Lydia would be the second one. I'm sure I probably have like a Scorpion Girl somewhere in like my old artwork that I haven't uploaded in like a folder somewhere, because there's tons of characters I have yet to post for like ages. And then whatever I have posted needs updates anyway. And let me grab her when she's naked so I know what I'm looking for when I draw certain things. Obviously I'm not going to post it on the stream. Nadine. You would be in this folder. I like Nadine though. Once I get to focus on her for a story, that'll be fun. Her and Claire. Just need her standard. There we go. Okay, so her chest isn't complicated. But I'll keep that there just so I don't have to think about it. Oh, thanks. Still roughing out her body just so I know where I want her, and then I'll clean it up a little bit more. Actually, how is your hair when it's messy? There we go. That makes sense. I'll just move this over. Man, 90s had so many crazy iconic characters. And granted, like, modern days we still have some pretty good characters, but I don't know, the ones from the 90s just hit different. Could be part nostalgia. But I would say like characters like from ones from like Undertale or not Super Lucky Tail. I think Tunic would probably be up there too. Or Hollow Knight. I still need to play Hollow Knight. I literally have the game, I just haven't touched it because I've been busy drawing. Like, a lot of times I'll have, like, a lot of stuff that I get, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. But then I'm like, but drawing, though. And I'll have and drawing will always overtake the most of of any activity. Because I would rather draw the majority of the time. Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of, I should probably save. A lot of this is just Nadine can rely on Claire a lot for anything important. Just call this Nadine problem for now. Just so we have it. Just so it's called something. I'll probably rename it later. But she knows that she can rely on Claire for anything critical. And that's why she can kind of be more relaxed with a lot of scenarios, but then there are just some situations where, you know, it would probably benefit her more if she put some thought into it, or at least paid a little bit more attention to. And like it could be like a similar scenario for like Nicole from Gumball, where Nadine screws up and Claire just like gives her a call, and she's like, did you do something? She's like, what? No. And she's like, yeah, you did something. I'm coming over, or I'm going home. I'm coming home. And she's like, crap. Could be like this scenario where it's like I've been around you long enough to know when you fuck up. Like Claire could just look at the time and is like, all right, it's 1 o'clock. She's probably done something by now. Or if she's lucky she hasn't done anything, Nadine is just asleep from a food coma. Oh, what was that? I saw something. Thank you for the sub. Where is my thing that tells me? There we go. Don Xavier, Night Trollin Cash. But yeah, thank you for the sub. I was like, where's my thing that tells me stuff? Yeah, I think it's a good parallel. And then I can always focus on Claire, where Claire is trying to be either an accomplished artist or just, you know, trying to find a decent job in the city. And obviously she needs a roommate, she's going to be living there, so luckily she has Nadine. Hello. And it'd be funny, like, if they're not like childhood friends, it could be like literally just like Claire. It could be like Claire's the one that's in control of the apartment, and then she like puts up a posting like, you know, need roommate or whatever, and then Nadine's the one that answers. Or I could even have Claire go through like other people first before she gets to Claire, and when she gets to Nadine, or before she gets to Nadine, and when she does get to Nadine, she just like, okay, so all I gotta worry about is that she's a bit of a foodie. And then, you know, awkward scenarios. So it could either be, you know, they're freshly new friends, or they could be old friends and they just hadn't seen each other in a while. So I mean, there's so many paths I can go with. I'll go with whatever makes the most sense when the time comes. It'd probably be funnier to go with them being old friends that hadn't seen each other in a while, and like show like a flashback of Nadine when she's thinner, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea." And then once she sees her, she's just like, "Damn, what the hell happened to you?" And she's like, "Well, it has been a few years, you know, stuff happens." And then you're just like, "Oh, she's just full on like this now." And then, of course, there's like other stories I want to do with characters in similar situations where like characters get introduced to feeding stuff or any other scenario like hypnotism or machinery and other stories. Like there's the list goes on. I just have like I don't even have a list. I just already know what I'm interested in, and it's just a matter of getting there. We'll do that for now. I'm not gonna go crazy. We'll pull it up more. See, I have that habit of drawing in the middle. It's been like that since forever. Mostly just want to show that she's got a pretty decent sized rump. But yeah, like I can see like humorous scenarios, like Claire decides to do laundry, or for example, and then just sees how big Nadine's underwear is. She's like, Jesus. It's like, Jesus, what is this, a shirt? And I do want to do more fan art at some point as well. I don't plan on drawing all of her lower body. I just want to draw enough of her. got some relatively large thighs. Probably lower her belly a little bit more. So let's grab this. Lower it, and then we'll lower that side too. So about here is fine. And then we'll even this side out. There we go. Oh, we got somebody else. Necro25, thank you for subbing. Yeah, see, we got the fanfare going. Where are we on this list anyway? Oh, it's almost over. Okay. Use this music. Pretty much using the safest music I can think of, because I do not want to deal with BS copyright. This a little bit more round. There we go. Technically, you wouldn't even see the back part of her leg, it'd be like that. Alright, question is, what was she wearing? I'll say she was wearing like a sweat jacket. Maybe like the zipper split or something. Or if she was wearing something with buttons. Figure that out when we get there. Because if that's the case, then about this much would be your jacket. And then obviously she'd be wearing a bra. Give her one of them fancy bras. We'll put like a design in between them a little later. I could totally see Claire like waking up in the morning, seeing that the apartment's trash with a bunch of like food or whatever, or food boxes, and then she sees like there's like a leftover slice of pizza, and instead of eating it herself, she just walks over to Nadine while Nadine's like sleeping with her mouth open and just drops the piece of pizza in her mouth, and Nadine just instinctively starts eating it. And then she just has like a happy look on her face as she's still sleeping. That'd be kind of funny. Yeah, that could be funny. Be like, I'm the real one. No, I'm the real one. If I do that, I'd have to give them the same eye color. Unless I just leave it where one turns red and the other one turns gray. And they just keep doing that. And then even Jam is just like, why do you keep doing that? And then I don't know, like if Apple were to chime in, she'd be like, it's called roleplay, duh. There we go. Oh, you know what? This should be like a regular button-up shirt, and she's supposed to be wearing like kind of like office outfit for like maybe an interview or something. But before she heads to the interview, she starts snacking, and then all of a sudden her buttons just burst. And Claire's just like, what the hell? Who is texting me? Alright, hold on. Alright, I will be right back. Let's put this on her belly. And I will be back in a moment. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Tasty pizza. Thank you, glad you like my work. Alright, let's get this scribble off her belly. Alright. So yeah, like, can have this be like a pre-job job interview situation. So I'll probably put her in like a skirt or a belt or something. So since she's wearing a bra, she has a little bit of boob squish. I could see like a funny scenario where Claire gets home from work or something, and she's like, "Nadine, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, Claire, get this. You can get paid to eat food and stuff. A bunch of guys have been sending me money, so I've been ordering stuff to eat on stream." And Claire is just like, "Although this is a good idea, I can't let her do this." And she says, "No, Nadine, no, you can't do this." And she's like, "What? But I made this much money." And Claire's like, because it's like probably enough money to like really be good for them both. But you can't let Nadine ruin herself like that. She's like, against my greed, I can't. I have to help my friend. So yeah, she wouldn't let Nadine be taken advantage of like that. And I don't know, let's have the shirt at least be somewhat long enough to justify putting a belt on her. But obviously she's been snacking, so the belly would be bigger than whenever she did put this on. But yeah, putting those two in like a awkward situation that ends up being wholesome would be fun. Yeah, I would say that she's actually really capable. She just has the problem of being food motivated. And then she's rather tall, despite being a mix of a mouse and a snake. Yeah, can always say like her manager or whoever's above her has a bit of a kink, and so they don't like let her go simply because she's a nice distraction from the major stuff of work. Like she doesn't go too far up the ladder, but like enough to justify her sticking around. Where she's like, "Oh no, I'm not making enough money and all that," but like they're like, "Oh, we can fix that. How about we move you to let's just say like number control or whatever bullshit job listing they'll give her." And she's like, what does that mean? It's like, oh, you make sure that there's no more leftovers in the snack room. She's like, oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah, exactly. Like it would be funny if like Claire and Nadine are out and about for the day, and they end up running into Claire's boss, and or not Claire's but Nadine's boss, and then that's when Claire discovers that Nadine's boss is into that, and she's like, and this explains a lot. You'd be like, oh hey Nadine, how about I buy you I buy you some snacks? And she's like, oh really? You don't have to do that. It's like, no, it's my treat. And then Claire's like, and this explains a lot. As she sees him getting all hot and bothered. Yeah, exactly. Like you could see her doing like a small little announcement, like, okay, and we've just made our last sale, blah 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 blah. We made this much. Everyone's like all excited, yay! And it's like, oh, and a reminder to make sure you take whatever you need out of the fridge. If it's there by the end of the week, it will be gone or it will be disposed of. And as she's saying that, you can see her like licking her lips. And then, like, I don't know, we could always say that her manager secretly leaves some of the food in the fridge for this exact reason, but she's unaware of it. Like, he doesn't leave like a whole lot, but he leaves like enough, and maybe like every once in a while he gets a little carried away. See, this is why we talk. This is why we have these discussions, because they're fun brainstorms. Some of which I'll probably need to write down at some point so I don't forget. But if I do forget, that's okay, we'll replace it with something just as equally fun. Well, there's water in the shirt, so we'll have it open up. But yeah, Claire will just be like seeing the obvious. Claire will just be like, and now I understand why she is the way she is. I don't know to how much to extremes I would take it, but definitely enough to have awkward moments with Claire. Like Nadine wakes up late and she's like, Nadine, or like, Claire, can I share the shower with you? I'm running late. She's like, yeah, come on in, and then just big old booty smush or belly smush. Either one. Not entirely picky on that. Thank you. Yeah, I just have more people on YouTube, so I'm just like, you know what, I just need to take advantage of my situation and just actually start doing it more. And then I want to start streaming more often. This is probably not the best time to do it because I'm doing that whole Webtoons thing, but whatever. I'd rather just get it going and try to just keep a groove. Hello, welcome. Alright, so in this hand I want there to be a hot dog. Oh yeah, we need to draw her nails though. I'll just have her holding a hot dog and a burger, nothing complicated. Yes, I know. See, I definitely need to stream more on YouTube because I have way more people here. But now I'm like, should this even be at home? This would probably just be at the office, just her in the snack room. And I'll probably have to pick the extended versions. Yeah, we'll just do that again. And we'll go back to here. There we go. I'm glad you liked it. I'll be returning to I Have Volume 2 pretty soon. I'm just in the middle of doing the whole Webtoons contest thing, so my attention's a bit split. But once I find out whether or not I'm moving on to round 2, then that'll decide what I get back to working on. I did put out another page of secrets, but definitely more to do when I get the chance. Double fisting lunch, yeah. Oh hell yeah, she'll always double fist lunch. She's like, I got 2 hands. Well, technically she could triple if she uses her tail, but I think she just likes to be more hands-on. She doesn't really use her tail for that kind of stuff. Actually, her thumb would be moved over a bit. Oh yeah, I had 2 is focused on different characters, but it's in the same universe. So it's like Emerald and Andy, basically the 2 characters that Marcy meets in at the mall when she orders all those hot dogs. No, this is Robots for the Game Boy Advance, which has really good fucking music. So I'll let this song play out for like 10 minutes and then I'll move on to the next song. But yeah, if you've ever listened to Robots for the Game Boy Advance, you'd be surprised how good the music is for that game. Like, the composer went hard on that game. Do this so that way it's grounded. But yeah, Nadine loves her junk food. But yeah, I could definitely see like a scenario where things get a little bit out of hand from Nadine's job, with her clearing the fridge every week. And then I'm pretty sure her boss would sprinkle in like little mini snacks in between. He's like, "Oh, hey Nadine, we have leftover donuts. You want these?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And it just gets worse over time until finally Claire steps in. She's like, "All right, like can't let you do that." Or it's like Nadine, or yeah, Nadine, you need to find something better. Or at the very least, I could see Claire going to have a chat with Nadine's boss. And I could see her like not entirely discrediting his fetish, but like at least understand the balance of it. She's like, "Look, I'm not trying to say you can't have your fun, but you gotta balance this out." And then I can have him go like, "Okay, I see your point." So yeah, 5 more minutes of this song and I'll move on to the next one. And then obviously she would have taken a bite out of this hot dog already. Nadine, but donuts. Right, exactly. But yeah, I could see Claire like talking to Nadine's boss like without Nadine around, because she doesn't want to like ruin something that's going well for Nadine. That's not her goal. But she definitely wants to make sure that Nadine is okay. It's like she doesn't have to be 100% healthy, but she definitely doesn't need to be like, okay, she's getting slowed down because she's put on so much weight. So it could be a mix of like Claire telling the boss to like, tone it down, and then also Claire, having like walking days with Nadine where they just walk around like a park or something and chat. And then Nadine's like, completely oblivious that this is supposed to be like a type of workout, and so she's just like, I like these days, with just both of them having like a nice stroll. Although sometimes Nadine might ruin it with like seeing like a food cart somewhere. Which is like, oh, can we have one of these? And Claire's like, sure. But then she'll like limit her. She's like, but only 2. Like she knows Nadine's gonna fuss if she can only have 1 of something like a large pretzel or something. She's like, okay, but only 2. Of course, Nadine might still make a fuss just for 2, but baby steps here. And then, I don't know, maybe at some point there'll be a cameo of Nadine coming across Marcy just chowing down somewhere. And then Nadine's just like, whoa. It's like, do you see how much that lady's eating? Slightly bigger Buddha. You made a fan-made ending. That makes sense for me. Claire feelings. Yeah. Like, Claire is definitely like the kind of like the mother hen type of mentality where she's like, okay, I know Nadine's an adult, but she's also pretty ditzy, so, or pretty, lax in her thinking. Nothing wrong with that. Like, again, you want to know what my inspirations are? My inspirations are Sonic the Hedgehog, probably Yu-Gi-Oh! Based on some of the eyes that I do. There's some Dragon Ball in there somewhere. The list goes on, honestly, like Sailor Moon Gundam, Marvel and DC comic stuff, like pretty much every fucking thing that I've interacted with since the 90s. So, yeah, my interests are a fusion of literally everything, but definitely Sonic the Hedgehog is like my number one. Sometimes you can't tell with depending on how I draw certain things, but there's definitely some Sonic influence in a lot of decision making. Individual, I was there for a good chunk of it. Like, obviously, like the furry stuff happened in like the 70s or probably earlier than that. Well, way earlier if we count the Egyptians. But later stuff became more prominent during like the 90s and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yeah. And a lot of it came from like fucking Disney cartoons back in the day. Because pretty much every cartoon did everything. It's like, oh yeah, let me change up the music now. You. Put you back to there you go. But like, every cartoon did like every fucking kink or fetish. Or both. Me, I was young at the time, not thinking of it as kinks or fetishes. I just thought it was just silly scenarios for the characters to be in, but it made me interested in seeing the characters like that. So, characters putting on weight, characters becoming balloons, some characters becoming young because of like Fountain of Youth or like a Age Ray or whatever. Characters turning into machines, so like the Roboticizer from Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog had their fat episodes too from the Adventures series, or Adventures of, because the cartoon. But yeah, pretty much every cartoon has done something like that, even if it's only like 1 or 2 episodes. But then you have cartoons like Totally Spies, who just said, "Hey, how many kinks are we doing for this series?" The answer is yes. because every episode did something. Claire strikes me as a quiet threader, prone to anxiety and overthinking things. Oh yeah, definitely. She would definitely do that. Yeah, like I can definitely see some stories where Claire just needs to relax and have some fun. So she like chills with Nadine. And maybe there is like a scenario where Claire just says like, you know what, I'm just gonna do what Nadine says, and I'm just gonna relax. I'm gonna let everything go for once. You know, maybe I will snack on a few things that I shouldn't. Let's just see what happens. And of course, you know, she might get a little pudgy and kind of freak out over just a couple extra pounds, and then work diligently to slim back down. But it'll be fun to see her like at least experience it once or twice. And it'll also make her a little bit less judgy on Nadine, but she also understands Nadine's mentality. She's like, yeah, she's like this, but I'm definitely gonna make sure that she remains okay. Curse characters, ships. At first, when I read that, I thought you were turning the characters into ships for a moment there, and then I was like, no, they're pairing them together. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, either or, I'm like, whatever. Either or works for me. Which reminds me, I need to do more vehicles as characters thing. I haven't done that in a long time. Since her sleeves are up. But yeah, it'll be fun to see like a back and forth with more characters. Like Secrets is definitely not supposed to take me as long as it has been, but I've been preoccupied. But that's why I'm slowly getting the pages back out. Okay, so we did that. Let's put her in a skirt. Allow the skirt be a little bit low on her because of her tail. That's interesting. Yeah, people fusing a bunch of characters was a fun thing. They don't do it as much nowadays, but back in like 90s, early 2000s, it was just like, hey, let's take so and so and so and so, fuse them together, and people just did it. Like it didn't matter what series they were from; they just said fuck it. Ruffle up a bit since your tail's heavy there. But yeah, like I thought of doing fusions for the Creamfield cast, but then I was like, there's only like one fusion that actually matters, and I don't want to ruin that, so scrapped the idea, but I kept the character design for fun. Because I think it was back when there was only going to be 6 or 7 Creamfield characters. And then once that became an incredibly larger number, that's when that idea changed. Well, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. Like a little strap here to show that this was supposed to stretch a bit. Alright. Show some squish because of her fat. A little bit of squish on her thighs, indicating that the skirt is a little bit tight on her. But yeah, there's definitely a list of characters that I want to show some fun with. Because like some of the ideas, I was like, should this be for a slice of life? Like, no, I want to save it for when I actually show them doing stuff. So some of the slice of life are just like either scrapped ideas or just like simple ideas where it's like, this doesn't need to be a whole thing. Oh yeah, Nadine's definitely a character to gel with pretty easily. And like, she's not like spoiled. She's just really like really chill of a character. But she also understands like some form of responsibility, so that's why she tries as hard as she can to earn her keep. But she's not dumb. It's like, yes, get into this character. We'll give her some leggings. And squish these two. She has a lot of squish. And like, can also say like before Nadine gets her office job, she's like struggling to find work, and Claire can like help motivate her. Where it's like, like, hey, you know what, let's go shopping and get you something confident to help your confidence. And they find her like nice clothing that looks good on her and all that, and they just have like a good time, and then that makes Nadine feel really good. Yeah, let's put some sauce on this hot dog. I don't know what kind of sauce yet. Maybe it'll be chili dog or something. I'll put like meat bits on it in a moment. Where's your motivation? Come on. Aw. Hopefully they go well. Sometimes you gotta take a moment to like walk away from like studying or whatever it is that you're working on that's kind of stressing you out. Like walk away for like a good 10-15 minutes and just kind of either zone out with something, or like if you're like at a computer screen all day or something, then definitely like step away from the computer screen and do something that has nothing to do with that. Yeah, sometimes there are just characters that you just click with, like, the most for whatever reason that feels justified. Me, it happens with a lot of characters because I'm just like super into art and stuff like that, and I've always have been ever since I was little. So anything that piques my interest, I'll be like, yes, I need more of this. Like when I first got into Overlord, just all the character designs were great, and then when I found the artwork from Sobin, it just made everything more inspirational. I was like, oh my god, yes, I need more of this. Because my favorite character from Overlord is Intoma, because I love her design. Most people are like, oh, I like Albedo, or, they'll pick the basic bitch characters. Just sorry, excuse me, I needed to cough for a moment there. It's weird. Anyway, I mean, I'm sure Intoma's probably classified as one of those too, because she's one of the beginning characters. But I just like her design and the way she acts. It's really trippy. Because she's like almost like her movements are a bit robotic, but then like the way she acts is like really fun. Oh yeah, I should probably give her eyelashes now. But yeah, like Overlord is definitely a good series to check out if you want to get inspired by some ideas. Especially if you read like the light novel stuff and the web novel stuff, because there are quite a number of ideas that did not get carried over to the anime. Many of which are rather graphic. Which is the stuff that I like. Because I always hate it when things have to be watered down or censored. It's like if I ever had like a pet peeve about something, or the whole "this grinds my gears" thing, it would definitely be censorship. Or just people being a whiny bitch about something that they wanted to change and ruin it for everybody else. Oh yeah, that was the neutral ending. No worries, that ending did not, that path did not happen canonically. Because there's a true ending and a bad ending. Alright, good luck and have a good day. Today Wednesday already? Yeah, it is. Shit. Tomorrow will be Thursday already? Damn, this week went fucking fast. That's the one that stuck with you. That's fine. Alright. Got a little bit of stretch lines on her outfit. Oh yeah, we've been listening to this song for quite a while now. Moving on. Probably don't need this window up, so I'm gonna close it. I mean, that's fine. I get invested in stuff too. Like if there's ever like a story or a series that I really like, or that I think like has a really good setup and stuff like that, I'll get super invested in because I want to know what goes on. And sometimes there'll be situations where I feel certain things kind of pull me out of it. Like, for example, there's a series called Drama Queen, and so far I really like the story, but my only gripe is that because like the whole thing has to do with like the main characters killing aliens, and then the way that they dispose of their bodies is by eating them, or at least one of the characters eats them. And my only gripe with that is just one of the main character who's eating them doesn't seem to put on any weight or show any signs that she's devoured like a whole person. And I'm just like, how is this a thing? So unless they come up with some like really bullshit answer by telling me like, oh, she has a black hole in her stomach or some bullshit like that, like it just slightly pulls me out. But I'm still reading it because I'm interested in seeing where it goes. But like that's like the only detail that keeps throwing me off, because it just makes little sense. And like if she has like some supernatural power, that's fine, just explain it to me. Just tell me that's the case and I'll be like, alright, cool, that makes sense, and then I don't have to think about it. I wonder if Marcy occasionally gets jealous from the... Yeah, I can see her getting a little bit jealous of other BBWs. Yeah, exactly. Like, could see like there's like some big bitch going like, oh yeah, here's my big old plate of whatever, and Marcy's like, excuse me, honey, and she goes and gets herself a big ass plate. Just glares. And then Skylar like eventually picks up on it. She's like, and he's just like, okay, this is hot, because Marcy's trying to out-eat somebody. And there's always the possibility that Marcy will lose such an occasion, because, you know, there are limits to her. And unless Skylar feels like making her balloon into a whole freaking building, there's going to be a cutoff point for her. Because obviously if there's like somebody that's just naturally bigger than her, then she's probably going to have a rough time. And then, of course, those type of characters will have their own limits. Oh yeah, there's always got to be at least some form of a flaw. And not like the flaw is like, oh, like my character is super powerful, they can do literally anything, but their flaw is like, I don't know, they don't like bananas or something. Like that's a dumb flaw. Like that's a flaw that doesn't develop the character or make the character interesting, type of thing. Because like even though I have issues with like Superman, for example, of him just like rarely ever having trouble with anything, I like that he at least has moments of struggle that makes him interesting, because him, when he actually has to like try with something makes him more interesting. Like, it kind of sucks where he's at a point where, because of his powers and because of him being Kryptonian or whatever, he just kind of easily knows. It feels like he knows too much too easily, where it's like, oh, he just happens to know all this, like, the sciencey stuff, and I'm just like, dude, I barely see you research anything. How do you even fucking know this shit? Whereas with Batman, you clearly see him going through books and books and books, or whatever method he has to do to figure something out, and you see him work for it. Whereas with Superman, it's like, nah, he doesn't really work for anything. And you can kind of understand that when it comes to Lex Luthor's perspective of Superman. It's like, it's not so much that Superman has like a shit ton of powers, it's just, it often feels like he doesn't earn his accomplishments. He didn't like have to work for it, he just has it. And it makes you understand why Lex Luthor has such an issue with him. And it totally makes sense. Of course, that depends on which lore we're going off of, because there's been lore where Lex and Superman used to be friends, or Superman's the reason why Luthor lost his hair, and there's that whole stealing 20 cakes thing. But yeah, but if we're going like just, you know, lore that actually is interesting, then yeah, like, it clearly makes sense on why Luthor acts that way. But then he has his own like ego that he has to keep in check. Imagine if Marcy is KO. That would be funny. But yeah, the funny part is just like, the characters from IAD are literally just like they're supposed to be background characters. So like, whenever I get to like the more major stories in the future, I do want to sprinkle in some IAD characters every once in a while, and that'll be like the whole point. It's like, they're not important, like, at all. Like, even with Skylar being a villain from Black Circus, he is literally just small fish compared to other more relevant characters that I have. It's like, oh, what's your ability? I can make people fat, and they're like cute, unless they make like a giant fucking sun in the palm of their hands, or on their fingertip, like a fucking Frieza death bomb. And like the Creamfeld cast, they're all demigods. And when Yorjadov shows up, it's like, oh, okay, clearly there's more to this. But we'll get there. A lot of this is trickle feed information, because I've been a bit scatterbrained throughout the years of what I'm working on and what has my attention. But I definitely need to work on time and just work on stuff in a more timely manner. But yeah, like, that's literally the scenario that Skylar would face if he had to encounter characters like that. It would just be that kind of comparison. Like, not everybody is like that in the more relevant stories, but that's definitely like his position in their universe. It's like, yeah, he's doing his own shit, but he's not a powerful character. Hello, Watcher. Yeah, it's like, even if Skylar were to be in front of that scenario, he's gonna know his lane at that point. He's gonna be like, look, I just have a kink of making people fat and having a bit of a murder streak. I don't need any of that heat. I would say, like, at most, Skylar might have to deal with Gadians and Avix in the future, assuming certain story a certain story path happens. But that's it. Like, he's not gonna be fighting a fucking god or equivalent, or anybody that's like anybody is more powerful than a Guardian. Like he'll probably be able to fight like the common Guardians, like, but nothing more than that. If it's like a Guardian with like giant fucking volcano arms, that shit, nothing's happening there. He's like, no, we're taking cover. Okay, I think we got most of what I need of her. All that's left is her stripes. I am going to color her yellow because I am not filling in those fucking stripes. That's fine. If you don't like a character, you don't have to. You don't have to make up reasons to like them. Sometimes there are characters you don't like, and then sometimes there are characters that you don't like at first, and then something happens in their story that makes you go like, holy shit, this is an awesome character. Like, I can't remember his name, because his name... I think his name was Bon, from, God, what was the name of that anime? It has like an odd name. Lucy... Is that his name? No. What was the name of that? It was like a really long name. Well, not really long, but like just a name you wouldn't think about too often. This is gonna get to me. I need to look this up now. It's like I know I'm thinking of it, I just can't for the life of me remember the name of the anime. Okay, yes, so this guy, but where is he from? To Your Eternity. That's where he's from. Yeah, that anime will make you fucking cry if you ever watch that. It is so fucked up. Like, if you watch To Your Eternity, you'll see a character named Bon, and at first you think he's just a piece of shit, and he's like, you know, just a unlikable character, and then later on you're like, holy shit, this is the best character ever. But yeah, like, To Your Eternity would be like one of the most realistic interpretations on what being immortal would be like. At some point, yeah. I definitely want to draw Kitsune again soon, because I've been thinking about that recently. But yeah, like, I Hat and Black Circus just have my attention at the moment. World Gates is in an odd spot because what I did with the with the current reboot of it, which didn't really get that far to begin with, so honestly I could scrap it and not feel bad about it. There's a lot that I want to change with it to fit the current lore of things that I've made. Nadine is a mouse and a snake mix. But with World Gates, there's just like a lot of lore that I've added outside of the actual series with like I-Hat and Black Circus and some lore bits that I've done. And then certain characters that I've made since World Gates was being made. Ha. I just got some development of learning and empathy and growing. Yeah. Yeah, like Skylar has his bad tendencies, but Marcy is definitely making him rethink some of that every once in a while. But yeah, with World Gates, there's just a lot of changes I want to do. Same thing with Buckle, because one, I feel I've gotten better with my art, that their current versions don't feel right, especially with some things I've done in Buckle where there are just some characters and some decision making that I feel either should not have been made or could have been done better. And it's not so much of like oh, you know, you don't have to change it, just, you know, you're getting better in time type of thing. It's not like that. It's just it doesn't fit the storyline or the certain flow that I'm going for nowadays, and I feel it needs to be changed or rebooted. Like Buckle, like there are parts of Buckle that I'll definitely carry back over for when I reboot it, but I definitely need to change things around to feel better about it. Like Buckle feels more of like hey, here's an idea that I want to do, and I'm just kind of vomiting it onto the page with like some form of consistency. And then World Gates is definitely a high school thing that I was working on that definitely needs to be adjusted. So that's where I'm going about that. But I'm definitely going to put them more in the spotlight when I have the chance. Okay, I think we're good on this. I'm just gonna crop it so we can focus. But yeah, like, and I'll just add in more lines for the spots that I need. But yeah, like World Gates and Buckle are going to get rebooted. The original idea was doing that this year, but with the Webtoons thing coming out of nowhere, well, I say it came out of nowhere, but it was announced back in like August, from what I've read. It was either August or September, or it might have been October. But with that coming into play, it kind of changed some plans around. But I do want to start working on those as well. Buckle especially, because I want to turn Buckle into more of a gothic horror type of theme. And make it a lot more violent. And World Gates, like there's a lot of stuff in World Gates that I'm going to keep, but I want to adjust how things happen in their stories, because World Gates is originally like 12 stories. It was originally going through the whole Final Fantasy type of scenario where each story is like its own world type of thing, and I'm likely to keep that, where whatever world that the I-Hat characters take place in, that's likely going to be like their main world, and not like they're not going to like spill over into the other ones. especially with World Gates 8, where that entire storyline takes place in a microscopic type of world, where because it's all bug characters and they're all small, so even though they're classified as bestials, they're like not in the normal sense, and not in like a oh they're walking around giants type of thing, although that could be a possible thing to think about in the future. But it's just gonna be one of those things where I'm going to decide how the worlds function and then go from there. Like, there's just a lot of things that I've thought about throughout the years, and because I've worked on iHat and Black Circus and other stuff, it's helped me flesh things out more in my mind, and that's why I've been making a lot of lore stuff so I can be more concrete with it. A beam out of her mouth. I did that for a side artwork that's not that I didn't post. It's only on Patreon at the moment, but not with like normal Marcy. It was with the machine version of her, but she's shooting like a beam out of her mouth. All right, so I think we're good. Oh yeah, I'll probably draw the buttons flying after the fact, but I definitely need to draw some of the holes in her shirt, or the buttonholes. There we go. And just draw little lines to indicate that there are buttons here. Show the buttons a little later. Oh yeah, she was supposed to have a belt. We'll have the belt go out over here. And maybe like the belt is still buckled in, but it just tore. Yeah, she eats spicy food, and she just has a giant flame coming out of her mouth. And Skylar's just like, whoa, she became a dragon. There was like a joke with one of the characters from Zooming's stories, where he's a lizard but he thinks he's a dragon, and he eats another character's chili, and he ends up coughing flames, and then she's like, oh no, I'm so sorry, and he's like, no, I thank you, I finally blew flames, I knew I was a dragon. But yeah, I remember when people were like, wait, so can Skylar blow fire? Thank you for the subscription, Sawyer Prout. Am I saying that right? Hope I said that right. But thank you for the sub. Oh yeah, one second, what was I drawing? I was drawing the belt. I'll just add the other. The other side flying off. Do. Alright, now we can move on to coloring. Nadine, I need your flats. So let's close this and open up her art file. I hate it when the computer keeps shifting between like list and details. It's like, just stick with the thing that I told you. Alright. Turn these off. There we go. Have a good night. Okay, and like I said, I am not drawing that yellow. Thank you for the sub, Watcher7180. You take care, have a good night. Yeah, we are not spending time doing those scales, so I am going to make that her base color. And I'm gonna have these see through. Fingers in a bit. Alright, I'll give this another 30 seconds and I'll change the music. Do I think Skylar would like Purunga? I don't think he'd have any real thoughts on Purunga. There is a god of dragons in my universe. He would probably have issues with Purunga. I need to draw him. I've been meaning to draw his art for a while now, and I keep forgetting. I only drew him like 2 times. Alright, I hope you have a good day. You take care. Oh yeah, let's do her ears. Or whatever the hell those are. Her hood. Blonde Nadine, weird. She looks like a was it Gangaro or Gao Girl, which is basically what Caitlyn is, but with lighter fur. I'll probably eventually make a character with this look. Just have her have the makeup and all that. Alright, you have a good night too. Like, there's so many character designs to explore that I haven't even dipped into, so there's always going to be something for me to do. Bye-bye. Okay, let's do your hair. Oh yeah, let's get change some song. And then keep going for like another 45 minutes and then we'll call it for the night. Yeah, we'll do small details later. Right now, I just want to get clothing details. some buttons over here that didn't get used. Or popped off. There we go. Dark purple skirt. Do that for the buttons too. Do a purple bra for her. Oh yeah, I should probably save. That would be smart. Let's see. Belt close to her colors, so we'll do that. And they can be on the same layer. Okay, got all that. Let's add in her stockings real quick. Color in some parts of this that needs to be colored. I'll probably tweak the line art for that part. Depends on if I'm in the mood for it. 60 isn't too bad. Let's grab a texture. Textures. Yes. Let's make it a little bit bigger since it's not too much. Let's tweak this. Mostly so that it's less distracting. Hold on, I do not speak Spanish, so I need to use a translator for that. Ah, yes, she does have a beautiful belly. How much does Patreon cost? Depends on the tier that you're going for. There's different options if you go on there. But the lowest is $5. Or well, technically the lowest is like $2, but you don't get anything. That one's more of a tip me jar type of thing. $2 or $3, one of the two. But yeah. Alright, so just cleaning some of this up. We'll grab this, use it for this. Let me take a look at what you're talking about. Because some people donate and then just kind of leave, so that's why it's marked as a gift. Because or it's like marked for free or something like that. Because if you pay and then leave, then it's marked that way. But tier 1 is technically the tip jar, which is just $2, but you don't get anything out of that. The $5 tier is all of the current comics, and of not including the secrets. So you only get like World Gates Buckle, I Had, Black Circus, and Creamfield. And then after that is the $10 tier, which gets you the Hush artwork. Then after that is the $15 tier, which is the Fat Lovers Club, which gets you the weight gain art. Then $20 tier, like special art sets, but mostly secrets is in that one. And then there's the $50 tier where all of the underground artwork has been after their timers run out. So that's how those work out. Oh yeah, I wanted to do that line right there, ready for tail. There we go. And let's clean this just as ish. There we go. He sells bathwater. I was thinking of doing like some set of Becky in bathwater, just for shits and giggles. And like, I don't know, have like a character drink her bathwater, like broth, because why not? Hold on, let me translate. Oh, see you later. They're like, took me a moment. That better not be somebody's meal. Okay, so that's how it works. Next, do the smaller details. Enhance. Yep, some belt bursting. Just cleaning up a few things here and there. Only when they need it though. Or if I'm like right there and I might as well just clean it. Reminds me I need to do the other part of the bra. Some cleanup here and there. Just so like certain obvious holes in the coloring aren't as prominent. Like I don't have to fill them all in, but I definitely want to tackle the ones that stand out the most to me. All right. Like, Nadine, I need your eyes. Give me your eyes. Thank you. I was totally not paying attention to the length of that playlist. So let me put this back to the beginning. There we go. This is more of a joke, so I'm gonna keep your eyes that way. Okay, I'm just gonna do the hot dog and burger. I'll just take the hot dog or the burger from this one. Make another layer. Okay, got this much. Good start on her shading. It's like, I don't know about the bigger clothes. It sounds like a task. But nachos, yeah, we can do that. It's like, bigger clothes, impossible. It's like, what, am I a genie? Good morning. Okay, I am going to call it for today. I'm gonna keep working on this and get it finished up. But yeah, well, big old booby. Anyway, did not mean to do that. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I will try streaming again. I guess well, it's midnight now, so today at the same time, 9 p.m. Pacific time. And yeah, we'll just keep this going. But yeah, you all have a good night, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.